You can't get rid of concepts with concepts, ultimately. Each of us lives our life with the underlying theme being none other than our own stories. So you can talk about the 6 sense doors: the eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind, and their objects of sights, sounds, smells, tastes, touches, and thoughts. But so long as we are holding on to our own ideas, all those things will serve that master, our narrative, our paradigm. It is always there. It's like a person who is in a cesspool up to his neck, physically, completely in a cesspool, where there's human and animal feces, urine, smelly, terrible, awful, to even get a whiff of from afar, let alone being in one up to your neck. Imagine that's where you are. And your head is also covered, by the way, but every once in a while you try to shake your head off from being under the surface of the cesspool. So now you come up, pop it out, and you say, I am free, I am free, I am free from all this poop, all this excrement, all this urine, all this smelly, foul environment. Would you be free? Really? Or you lift your hand out of it and you stick it out and you say, my hand is free from the cesspool. Meanwhile, it's dripping with all the nastiness. And that is what we do when we go, let's say, or we sit to meditate. We try and practice a technique, or when you go to a retreat for several days or weeks or months, what are you really working with? Really? The thoughts that you have, or the techniques of how to, quote unquote, handle the thoughts. Even if you're doing the satipatthana, there must be a penetration of going and looking at the whole process from the bottom, checking your own motives, checking your own underlying narrative, your own story. What gives you meaning from all of this? Why are you sitting on a retreat? Why are you there? This is where many, and most, actually, meditators completely miss out on looking at. This is why there is no personality change happening. Instead, there are new layers of ego formation, if you will. The thick callus of mana is growing even thicker. And you are becoming more conceited with every retreat, every sit, every sutta you read, every Dhamma discourse you attend. So long as you are not looking at the whole process, not through your eyes, but by separating yourself, even momentarily. That's how we start. Just it's taking a step back and just observing. And this requires some trust on your part to pull back. Instead of relying on what you have learned, what you think this should be, this should mean, every single arahant, every single one of them, had to relinquish their own ditthi, their own ideas, their own stories of what they think Lord Buddha is trying to say to them, or he had said, or what somebody, when they were teaching the Dhamma, this is what it's supposed to mean. Conceit is addicted to that kind of thinking. That is the story. That is the foundation upon which the person continues living in ignorance. That's why it's so hard to relinquish. And it is the biggest hurdle for a Putujjana in becoming an Arya, a noble disciple. Putujjana is an idiot, a foolish, willfully wanting to remain foolish because of one or more reasons. You might be considered to be an expert in the Dhamma, for example, but you're never looking in the right places to really taste the Dhamma. You're too much in love with your own thoughts and ideas about what you think must be the Dhamma. That's another example of a Putujjana, an uninstructed worldling, a common, ordinary, common not just in this life, but as far as the quality of life you've lived, there's no difference between you and a cow, when you were a cow, or a mouse. In your next life, maybe you might be a mouse, or a hungry ghost, or a hell dweller. Not much has changed. That's where the commonality comes in. There's nothing special. It's just a bunch of memories, identifications to a story. Sticking to your story is not seeing everything else that's going on. The eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind. They're all bringing you so many opportunities to see and to say, the jig is up. I see you. I see you. Gahakarka, the Tosi. O architect, I have seen you. It's not outside. It's not figuring out by reading books and this and that and suttas. It's about being open enough, vulnerable enough to put down what you think you know about the subject, what you know about the practice, and use one technique, just one small sentence from the discourses, and that's plenty to get you started into understanding how to unravel this process and to see what's always been there, this fascination with your narrative, your own story. This is what we understand as, when so many places we see in the suttas, this is mine, this is who I am. This is myself. That is the conceit I am, which is one of the biggest hurdles that humanity has today. More than the fascination with passions and things like that, because everything else comes from this. Sticking to this narrative, the being a slave to sanya. To give up your story and just see the whole show that's taking place right under your nose. And to smell, to really, truthfully, honestly become disgusted by where you're at. Meaning the cesspool you're drowning in.